All right, my beloved Madridistas, welcome back to Madrid and welcome back to the channel. Okay, let's talk about this really important match against Villarreal tomorrow. And I think we're all pretty optimistic and encouraged by what we saw against Monaco the other day. Clearly, we want to see more continuity. We want to make sure this wasn't a one-off. And I understand this is a squad that still has a lot of defensive problems. We have ongoing injuries that we need to deal with. And by the way, those two are very much connected. But generally speaking, I think we're all encouraged. I want to talk about some of the improvements in our play that we saw against Monaco and sort of 5 reasons why I think we can start to believe and hope that this is a turning point and not just a one-off, what we saw against Monaco. Now, in terms of the match tomorrow, remember Tchouaméni can't play because of an accumulation of yellow cards, and that just adds to the injury situation. Rudiger is still out. Asensio is not quite 100%. They took him off at halftime against Monaco. We weren't quite sure how bad the knock was. It's still kind of uncertain whether he'll be 100%, if he'll be able to start. I'm going to kind of assume that he will. But Tchouaméni, I think that Tchouaméni's absence is going to be very important. Tchouaméni, I think we can all agree, ever since he got whistled, last year, he has been one of our more consistent players, and I think he's done a tremendous job in that pivot position. So I think we're gonna miss Tchouaméni quite a bit. I would expect Camavinga to come out as pivot. I definitely do not want to see Ceballos. This player he risks the ball too much. He just makes me nervous when he's out there. I really, really hope that we come out with Camavinga and not Ceballos. Rodrigo is not quite 100% yet. He trained. He did half the training session yesterday, not the full training session. So I'm not sure if he'll be available. Brahim is back from the African Cup, but not entirely sure what condition he is in physically and especially psychologically after what happened in that final, which was crazy. In terms of the lineup, I'm gonna guess that we go out with a 4-3-3. I think that's my best guess, and the lineup would look a lot like what we saw against Monaco, except instead of Tchouaméni, we'll see Camavinga in that sort of pivot position. But I would expect to see Courtois in goal, Carreras on the left, Fede as right back, Huijsen and Asensio as center backs, then Camavinga as a pivot, Arda and Jude a little bit further up, and then up front, I think we'll probably repeat Mastantuono on the right, Vini on the left, and Kylian as a number 9. Now, this is sort of what I expect, and I think that continuity would be something positive at this point. It is possible, though, that he could come out with a 4-4-2. Now, if he did want to take more precautions and come out with a 4-4-2, I think it would probably look something like this. I think in this case, you'd have to move Fede as a kind of double pivot with Camavinga, and then in the right back position, you'd probably play Carvajal. But of course, the big issue there is, does Carvajal have 90 minutes in him? Because he has been available to play, but played very, very few minutes. And I'm not entirely sure if that means that he's not able to play 90 minutes or if that was just a tactical choice. So the 4-4-2 I think is a little bit less likely, but this is what I think it would look like if he went in that direction. Okay, now Villarreal this year, they're kind of having a slightly bipolar year. I mean, they're playing very well in La Liga, very consistently, but they've been awful in the Champions League this year. It's kind of bizarre. But the Ceramica, it's a very difficult stadium to play in. I mean, it's always a crowd that pushes a lot. The team tends to play with a huge amount of energy at home. And like I say, they've been playing quite well in La Liga. So it will not be an easy match at all if you take into account the rival playing away from home and all of the kind of injuries that we have in the defensive line. But I think that we all want to see consistency in our play. The other day was really encouraging, but we need to see more of that in order to really kind of, gain in confidence. It's amazing to me, and this just tells you everything you need to know about Real Madrid, that we're 1 point off the lead in La Liga, and we're in an incredible position in the Champions League, and yet this is like a massive crisis that we just went through. So it just, I think, illustrates how incredibly high the standards are at Real Madrid, that just any little thing just becomes a huge crisis. But anyway, we definitely saw an improvement against Monaco, and the things that I thought were quite visibly better were, number one, the level of intensity. The players came out and they were at 100% the entirety of the match. There was much faster ball circulation. We were moving the ball much better. There was a clear improvement in concentration. So one of the things I've criticized all year is that after we score, we tend to sort of drop our shoulders and become lethargic, and our energy level drops. That didn't happen the other day. It was, we would score and score, but we just kept wanting more. So I think in terms of concentration, I think we looked a lot more focused for the full 90 minutes, not just kind of in patches. We were a lot more coordinated in the press. I think that our pressing was a lot more effective, which allowed us to recover the ball much more quickly. We played a lot more compact football. The distance between the forwards and the defensive line was a lot narrower, and I think that helped our play improve a lot. There was tons of movement off the ball, everybody making runs, so the player with the ball always had a ton of options because people were making runs into space all over the place. And just generally speaking, there was just a higher level of hunger. There was more aggressiveness, more intensity, more focus, just more ambition, and that was really great to see. Now, obviously, like I say, we have to see more of this going forward and make sure that wasn't a one-off. But there are 5 kind of key reasons why I think we can believe. I think there are 5 reasons why I think we can believe that the Monaco thing wasn't a one-off. The first thing I would say is that there's a kind of emotional reset in the squad, because it feels like a sort of psychological cloud was lifted from the squad, and it felt to me the other day like the players were making a statement, like we want to show that there was an issue, it's been resolved, and now we're ready to kind of go 100%. It just feels like they were trying to make a statement, but you do get the sense that there was some sort of a psychological cloud has lifted, and the players just played a lot more released. So I think emotionally the reset is a positive factor that might help us believe going forward. Number 2, there are plenty of historical precedents. There are a lot of cases where a team isn't playing very well with a manager. You substitute him for anyone, just anybody in-house, and the team reacts positively. We've seen this many times in the past, not just in Real Madrid. If you remember Zizou after Benitez, or even like Bayern Munich with Hansi Flick when he took over. Di Matteo, I think, at Chelsea, massive turnaround, ended up winning the Champions League. So there are a lot of precedents in the past that sometimes just removing a negative element, whether it's in the chemistry, the dressing room, but just removing a negative element is enough to kind of turn things around. So reason number 2 to believe is that there are a lot of historical precedents that indicate that sometimes removing the manager does result in a positive change. Number 3, and this might seem trivial, but given all the injuries, I don't think it is. The schedule now becomes a lot more favorable because we were eliminated from the Copa del Rey. We're in a great position in the Champions League, and it doesn't look like we're going to have to do the extra knockoff round. If you take both of those things into account, the schedule becomes a lot more forgiving, and I think that is mission critical, especially if you bear in mind all the injuries we've had and all the players that are kind of recovering and coming back. The fact that we have those extra days of rest going forward, I think will make a big difference. So that's another reason I think to be hopeful. Reason number 4 to believe. The Bernabeu has spoken, and the Bernabeu has made itself clear, and the pressure is there. I think after that, the whistling the other day, I think that the Bernabeu has spoken loud and clear, and I think that the pressure that the players feel now to really play at 100% is massive, and I don't see them letting up. I think that experience, which I think traumatized all the players, is a very unpleasant thing, but I think that's ingrained in their head, and I think will be a really important factor keeping them on their toes going forward. Then the 5th reason I think to sort of believe is tactical simplification. One of the things that I was criticizing, Xabi about a lot is that he tended, not in the first few matches when he arrived, but after that, just tended to make a ton of changes. You know, we'd play 4-3-3, then a 4-4-2, and he kept switching the positions of certain players around. And it just felt like there was no consistency tactically or in terms of formation. And I think that was causing a lot of confusion in terms of the players. And it's very hard to create kind of automatic reflexive play when you're doing something different every match. So I think that Arbeloa, you know, it remains to be seen how many changes he'll make going forward. But I do suspect that he'll be a lot more consistent tactically going forward. And I think that that's something that will help the players a lot as well. So look, you know, there are some very clear improvements in that Monaco match that I wanted to highlight. And there are some reasons, I think, to be optimistic and to believe that these changes can be permanent and that wasn't a one-off. So we hope that's the case. Look, Villarreal is a very big test. It is a difficult rival in a difficult stadium. But, you know, we're 1 point off the lead. If we manage to win, we'll put the pressure right back on Barca, and I think would be incredibly positive. So this match means a lot in terms of transmitting confidence to the squad, you know, that we're moving in the right direction, that there's more consistency in our play. So I think it's a very, very important match in many, many respects. It won't be an easy one, but I think it'll be an important one. But like I say, I think we have reasons to be optimistic. Okay, those are my thoughts ahead of the match tomorrow night. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'll definitely give you guys a post-match analysis right after the match tomorrow. But thanks for joining me, as always, and forever. A la Madrid.